You know, we've all seen the movies. The genius founder having a eureka moment, the nonstop parties, the overnight explosion of success. But what if that whole Hollywood story is actually hiding the most important lessons? Okay, let's get into it and dive into the real playbook from some of Silicon Valley's sharpest minds.
First up, we're going to pull back the curtain and really separate the glamorous fantasy from the gritty, demanding reality of what it actually takes to be a founder.
So this right here really flips the script. That dream of glamour and parties, the reality is more like intense, grinding stress, and just plain hard work. Total flexibility to set your own hours? Yeah, that actually means you're always on call 24/7. And getting rich quick? You should probably be thinking more like a 10-year journey. And the biggest one, being your own boss? Turns out everyone becomes your boss, from your customers, to your investors, to your own team.
And if you're wondering where this myth comes from, look no further. Dustin Moskovitz, the co-founder of Facebook, he points right at movies like The Social Network. They paint this picture of entrepreneurship as this amazing highlight reel of genius moments and champagne.
But the day-to-day, what Moskovitz and Sam Altman say it's really like is, it's a lot less glamorous. It's the grind. It's you, at a desk, head down, just answering customer emails, fixing bugs, and tackling one hard, unsexy problem after another.
So, if it's not for the glamour or the quick money, what is the one single reason you should actually start a company?
It really comes down to this one simple but incredibly powerful phrase: you can't not do it. And this is a compulsion that kind of works in two ways. First, you are just so personally obsessed with the idea that you feel like you have to work on it. And second, you've got this deep belief that the world genuinely needs this thing, and that you are the person who has to build it.
Man, Moskovitz just captures this feeling perfectly. When he was starting his second company, Asana, he said the idea was literally like beating itself out of his chest, forcing its way into the world. That's the level of passion we're talking about. That's what gets you through the tough times.
So this is the real gut check question you have to ask yourself. Forget the spreadsheets and the business plan for just a second. Is your idea this compelling? Is it an obsession that just will not let you go?
Okay, let's talk about the idea itself. You've got the passion, but what if your idea seems, a little crazy? Well, according to Sam Altman, that might actually be a very, very good sign.
You hear this all the time now, right? Ideas don't matter, it's all about execution. But Altman is super clear. That whole idea has gone way too far. A great idea is the essential starting point. It's the kernel that everything else grows from. Great execution on a bad idea, that doesn't really get you anywhere.
And the thing is, the best ideas often look pretty terrible at first. Google was like the 13th search engine when everyone thought web portals were the future. Facebook was just another social network, but for college kids who had no money. And Airbnb? The idea of sleeping on a stranger's couch sounded weird and, frankly, a little dangerous. They all seem like bad ideas.
And this right here is the goal. You want an idea that sounds contrarian, something most people just dismiss, but you have a secret. You have some insight into why it's actually right. That's where the real opportunity is, in a space no one else is even looking at because they just don't see what you see.
This leads to one of the most famous questions in venture capital, from the firm Sequoia. The absolute best ideas have a great answer for why now. They're riding some kind of wave, a new technology, a shift in culture, something that just opened up. You need that tailwind pushing you forward.
So once you have that contrarian, perfectly timed idea, your next mission is crystal clear. You have to turn it into something that a small group of people absolutely deeply loves.
So, the famous startup accelerator Y Combinator basically gives founders this choice. Would you rather have 1 million users who just kind of like your product, or 1,000 users who are passionate, fanatical lovers of your product?
And the answer, every single time, is the 1,000 lovers. No question. Why? Because you can't build a movement on a lukewarm feeling. Passionate users become your biggest champions. They give you the best feedback. It is so much easier to grow from a small, intense fire than from a huge, weak warmth. So how do you find those first lovers? You do things that feel totally inefficient, things that don't scale. You recruit them by hand. Ben Silbermann, the founder of Pinterest, he literally walked around coffee shops getting strangers to try his app. He'd even go into Apple stores and set all the browsers to the Pinterest homepage. You have to be scrappy and get that face-to-face feedback.
Okay, so this brings us to what you should actually be doing every day. With all the noise and distractions out there, what is the founder's real job? The answer is shockingly simple.
Here it is. This is your entire to-do list. Number 1, build a product. Number 2, talk to users. That creates the feedback loop that lets you build a better product. And number 3, that's just about staying alive and healthy enough to do the first 2. Everything else, PR, conferences, big partnership deals, it's all a distraction in the early days. You got to ignore it.
And how long should you plan on doing this for? Well, get ready for this number. Yeah, 10 years. This is probably the single biggest reality check for most founders. There's this belief that you can build something huge in just 2 or 3 years. That almost never happens. A truly great, enduring company takes about a decade to build. And this is exactly why that obsessive passion we talked about is so critical. You just can't fake it for 10 years.
And part of surviving that decade is totally rethinking what it means to be the boss. As Phil Lieben, the founder of Evernote, puts it, the complete opposite is true. You suddenly have countless bosses, your investors, your customers, and maybe most importantly, your employees, the people who are dedicating the best years of their careers to your vision.
So, let's bring it all together. If we strip away all the myths, the glamour, the easy money, the idea of being your own boss, what is this whole startup journey really about? What's at the core of it?
It's this. It's about finding that one idea that's beating itself out of your chest, that one problem the world desperately needs you to solve. And then it's about having the focus, the grit, and the almost crazy passion to survive the 10-year marathon it's going to take to make that vision a reality.